Good day and welcome to the SNN.Network Summer Virtual Event. Our next presenting company is DMG Blockchain. It is now my pleasure to turn the floor over to Mr. Sheldon Bennett, CEO of DMG Blockchain. Sir, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm delighted to be here to talk about DMG Blockchain Solutions. My name is Sheldon Bennett. I am the CEO of DMG Blockchain Solutions and one of the original founders. Today, I'm going to take you through a few slides to introduce you to our company, let you know a little bit of what we do and what makes us unique. Just to take a look at this front cover slide here, you'll see that we are a public company. We are listed in Canada on the TSX Venture Exchange under DMGI. We're also on the US OTC under DMGGF, and we're also listed in Frankfurt under 6AX. My next slide is just my formalities as being a public company. I always have to show a disclaimer of forward-looking statements that my lawyers enjoy me showing this slide quickly, just to be aware that we are public and we have forward-looking statements. So just about DMG, a little bit more. As I said, we are a public company. We were founded in 2016. We went public onto Canadian market in 2018 of February. At that time, we raised approximately $35 million. And since then, we've gone on and raised an additional $98 million over the last 90 days. We sit on about $42 million in cash. We have about 166 million shares outstanding. And we trade on average about 2.6 million shares a day. We're located in Vancouver, Canada, not Washington. And we have about 25 employees, and we have a U.S. subsidiary out of California called Blockseer, and our data center is located in Christina Lake in British Columbia. On to the next slide. A little bit about our time and recent achievements. As I said, we went public in 2018. We've accomplished a lot since 2018. One of the biggest accomplishments is about 2 or 3 weeks after we went public, crypto winter started. And crypto winter, for those of you that are not familiar with this term, is in the winter of 2017 and the beginning of 2018. Bitcoin price climbed up to around $20,000 US per coin, which was a huge amount, looking at the previous price of Bitcoin. And there was all quite a frenzy around Bitcoin and Bitcoin mining and Bitcoin trading. It crashed early in February of 2018 down to around $4,000 at the lowest, and kind of bounced back up and worked its way up over the next 2.5 years to $10,000, $12,000 before it took off again in 2021. And so during that time, we were busy as a miner mining Bitcoin, but also we are a software company, and I'll get into how we have diversified and become a vertically integrated company that has both mining and software. But recently, DMG was the first signatory, along with Argo Blockchain, our partners, on a pool called Terrapool to sign the Crypto Climate Accord. We take a very strong stance on climate change and using renewable energy. And DMG itself in Christina Lake runs 100% on hydroelectricity. We recently purchased 7,850 Bitcoin miners, which we are busy deploying. We've invested in a company called Blackbox, which is a Vancouver manufacturing company, to help us build infrastructure. We've also invested $3 million into a company called Brain Capital that specializes in custody of crypto assets and crypto wallets. We've also invested $2 million in Bosonic, which is a trading platform for layer 2 trades of crypto assets. And as well, we've invested $1 million in another crypto exchange, which unfortunately we can't disclose yet under the regulatory regime it's under until it becomes public. We've also been able, through our technology, to reach 2 exahash in operating hash rate on our Blockseer services for pools. So we've been very busy over the last little while. This next slide here is just to show you how we think about our company and how we try to approach our business. So as I said, we are a Bitcoin miner. We started out as a Bitcoin miner. We call that our core business, our core infrastructure. And this is the main driver of all of our revenue. There are many great Bitcoin mining companies out there. Public ones are things like Marathon and Riot in the US. In Canada, you have Bitfarms, Hut 8, Hive, large publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies. But what makes us a little bit different is early on we bought Blockseer out of the U.S. and focused on data analytics and forensics, and we've used that sort of software and technology side to build another part to our business beyond just creating Bitcoins and then either selling those Bitcoins to pay our bills or to put them on our balance sheet to show the strength of our company. So when you take a look at the way we're vertically integrated, I made a little bit of a triangle here just to show how we think about the industry and how we think about our company. So at the bottom, you see sort of DMG's flagship data center. This is, reliable power infrastructure is the first piece in becoming a strong Bitcoin mining operation. And for DMG, we have our own 85 megawatt substation that we built and own on our property. Our property is 33 acres. And on that property, we have a 30,000 square foot building in which we Bitcoin mine inside of. And I have a slide that I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. On top of that power access that we have, then you have the equipment. So you have the Bitcoin mining equipment and the power infrastructure that makes it work. And that's a supply chain issue. And many of you heard in the world of Bitcoin right now, there's a real issue with getting supply of both power equipment, transformers, and networking equipment, as well as getting the Bitcoin mining hardware itself. So having a strong supply chain and great relationships with the suppliers is really important in this industry. And the next piece on this triangle is operational optimization. And this is making sure everything works. So uptime and making sure everything runs is really important. We have our own mine management software, which I'll talk about as well, to help us optimize the uptime of the servers running and diagnose any problems to try and fix them. As well, we've invested in immersion cooling, and we are continuing to convert from air cooling to immersion cooling, and I'll have a little slide on that about the upside of this optimization, where we will actually generate more or the same amount of Bitcoin for less power, or the inverse of that is we can use the same amount of power and generate more Bitcoin. And that would be what a traditional miner would do. That would be a core pure Bitcoin miner's operations. And then if you look at the next two parts of the triangle, this is what we call core plus, so everything beyond creating a Bitcoin. And this is where we get into our Blockseer software platforms. Here, we really look at not just making a Bitcoin as a miner and then selling it for operations, just putting in a treasury on our balance sheet, but we try and interact with Bitcoin continuously and make transaction fees over and over and over again. And so instead of just stopping at making a Bitcoin, DMG's philosophy and our goal is to continually interact with Bitcoins we make and Bitcoins other people have made. And so we have some pool software that we use to interact with other miners to continually get transaction fees off of their mining, as well as we have wallets coming out. We have Mine Manager that we get paid transaction fees for as well. We have an exchange coming through our partnership with Blisonic, and we already have our Walletscore and Blockseer software programs as well. And then on top of that, we have some of our higher value services on data analytics and forensic services. So we do a lot of work with financial institutions, auditors, law firms on different types of investigations, or working, to help them understand thefts, help them understand transactions, help them understand different things that happen with crypto. So an example is, an accounting firm may ask us to investigate a balance sheet item where a company may own $2 or $3 million of coins, and ask us whether or not under accounting principles, if these coins are actually liquid and sellable, or if there are some issues around them, they could not be recognized as a balance sheet asset item. That's a small example, but we do all sorts of different things depending on who we're working for. We did work for a law firm for a year where we analyzed over 1 billion transactions on a blockchain as part of a case that they were managing. So we've done all sorts of different things in data analytics and forensics. Moving on to the next slide. This is just some information about our core business. Just give you a little shot into what a Bitcoin mine looks like. This is our facility in Christina Lake. Lots of power transformers. You can see the hallways where we have a lot of air flowing in for the servers to cool themselves. And you can see a rack here of servers. On the right side are Bitcoin miner servers. On the left side are actually GPU servers for Ethereum. And there's just some information about our property. Just to know, for those of you in the States, which is probably most of you, we were just north of Spokane, just to give you an idea of our location. and we're about 500 meters from the U.S. border. As well, about our operation, as I said, we made an investment in the black box. It's an important investment for us because one of the larger issues that crypto miners have is access to manufacturing and getting things built. Access to electricians, access to welders and manufacturers is a big issue, especially on the scale that we build at. So this investment really helps us move quicker at building out capacity for ourselves and for companies that hire us to build for them. I also mentioned this conversion from air-cooled or traditional Bitcoin mining to immersion cooling, so optimizing our operations. And this optimization by moving from air cooling to fluid cooling is actually quite important. We've done a study with an independent company where we ran some Bitcoin miners in air cool, and we metered the amount of power they consumed, and then we put them into immersion fluid to take the heat away. And by using immersion cooling, we were able to save 18% of the power use that we would have used in air cooling. So it's a big savings to go to immersion cooling. And 18% when you're talking tens and 20s and hundreds of megawatts is a really, really big number when it comes to saving money and generating the same amount of revenue. Moving on to another part of our company that's really exciting is our software side. As I mentioned, we call it Core Plus, so everything we do outside of our core business of making a Bitcoin. And our Core Plus really focuses on regulatory compliance and safety and security. And you'll see that with our purchase of Blockseer back in 2018, this company in Silicon Valley, we bought it because it had great data analytics in tracking and labeling cryptocurrencies. And we thought that this was going to be a really important part of the future of our company. We're big believers in bringing cryptocurrency to the masses. And in order to bring it to the masses, you really need to create products that banks and financial institutions and the general public will feel comfortable using. An example I always give when I'm interviewed is I have a Bitcoin wallet, my children have Bitcoin wallets, but my parents don't. They rely on their bank. They have no interest in trying to figure out what a Bitcoin wallet is and how it works. But if there was a line on their bank that said checking, savings, Bitcoin, mortgage, 401k, or whatever it may be called, RSPs, they call them in Canada, they would be happy to have Bitcoin and use Bitcoin with the ease of use and the what's the word for it? The comfort or the trust that they have in their bank. And I think for us as a company, we're really focused in on these two things, really, regulatory compliance and attracting institutions to Bitcoin, and safety and security of people being able to use Bitcoin and feel that, everything's going to work properly and they're not going to have any issues or problems in using Bitcoin. And there's been lots of different media stories through the years of negative information about Bitcoin, but there's a lot of positive things about Bitcoin, a lot of things that we don't see in the Western world about the great things that Bitcoin's done for underprivileged and weaker economies, and being able to be banked and have services that traditionally we take for granted. And so just a quick slide here showing you our software projects and platforms. So under safety and security, we have our Blockseer Explorer, which is used mainly by law enforcement. It tracks Bitcoin, and I'll have another slide to show you what that looks like in a minute. Freeze and Freeze are two products that we are developing with Brain and our investment in them. These are ways to hold coins and move coins. They're custody wallets. Walletscore is a real-time AML product where you can put in a wallet and it will give you information on all the past transactions it's done and risk rate doing business with that wallet. Manager is our proprietary management software that regulates and communicates with all the Bitcoin miners and tries to correct any problems using software or write work tickets for repairs to be done, and just tells the workers what to do and where the miners are to repair. The mining pools are new for us. We have one operating mining pool with a partnership with Marathon called Terrapool. We have another pool we're working on getting out publicly called Terrapool with our partnership with Argo, and we're looking at adding a few more pools in the future. And our last piece is a product called Petra. This is a product that is being beta tested right now with a bank. The future of this product is to help banks work within the Bitcoin blockchain using a lot of our technology to move Bitcoin around in a safe and compliant manner. If we go on to the next slide, I just broken out the products that are actually up and running versus ones that are being beta tested and coming out over the next 1 or 2 quarters. So the 4 products that are running right now are the Pool, the Mine Manager, the Explorer, and the Walletscore product. And so just a nice little picture of what the Mine Manager looks like. It's just a way that you can visually see all of your servers. You'll be able to click in, see each server, see its hash rate, see its IP address, see what temperature it's running at, see its performance, if it's running at 100% performance or not. And this software scans the servers all the time and sends information back about any errors or problems. The next piece of software that we have that clients can buy licenses to is our Blockseer product. This is our initial product that we acquired when we bought Blockseer from this California company, and it's a way to trace and track crypto from wallets to wallet. From that product, we actually spent a year and developed a new product afterwards called Walletscore. It's the same basic idea of tracking wallets, but this is putting on labeling codes of risk around transactions. We have a whole system of web crawlers and ways we gather information to be able to verify wallets for criminal activity. And then the last piece of our operating platforms is our pools, and the pools are new for us. They're quite important to us. The pools are ways that all the Bitcoin miners work together to win blocks. By winning a block, you get the block bounty, which right now is 6.25 Bitcoins plus transaction fees, and then you get your share of that block by how much compute power you put into winning that block from the pool. And so, as I've said, we've got a pool out and running right now with our partnership with Marathon. It's called Terrapool. We have a second one that we're starting with Argo called Terrapool. The difference between the two of them is Terrapool is, for Marathon, a large U.S. miner. They're using that one independent of anyone else. Terrapool will be open to anybody to use with the caveat that it's for clean energy. So we're looking for clean energy miners that are on, wind, solar, hydro, things like this. If you're not clean energy, but you're working towards it, you can still join Terrapool, but we'll require you to wreck off all of your carbon, and we will work with you on a path to becoming carbon neutral over time. And just moving on a bit more, on our data analytics and forensics, as I mentioned before, we do a lot of work with different law firms, legal firms, law firms and legal firms, auditors, accounting firms, policing agencies. And so I'd given the example before about digital asset valuation. We've done that before. We've also done some technical due diligence on blockchains, as I mentioned earlier, where we looked at over 1 billion transactions. And moving on, some of the new information about what we're up to. As I said, we just recently did an investment into Blackbox, so we would have manufacturing capabilities. We do have plans to open a few new locations to help people looking for sites. There's a lot of miners coming over, predominantly from China, due to some of the changes in the restrictions and laws there. And so there's a great demand for hosting and opening new sites for crypto mining that we're going to take advantage of. As well, I had mentioned that we had done an investment in Bosonic and Brain, and so the Bosonic and Brain investments sort of go hand in hand to give us both the ability to open a Blockseer branded exchange with custody through Brain's solutions on holding and moving coins around, which we are calling Breeze and Freeze. And so we're excited to be able to get this new product line out to our customers and hopefully bring on a lot of new customers to the Blockseer suite of services over the next few quarters. And lastly, just to show a little bit about DMG on the ESG side, as I've said, we were the first to sign the Crypto Climate Accord with Argo. We're 100% renewable energy. As well, on the social side, we have very strong COVID protocols. We were one of the first companies to move to remote work. At our facility, we have very stringent health and safety policies. But outside of just work, a lot of people don't understand that we have partnerships with universities. We hire a lot of students as their first job or co-op jobs through us. We worked for many years with Simon Fraser University here in British Columbia, specifically with the cybercrime division. but with other parts of the university. And with the University of British Columbia, the Sauder School of Business, we've been 4 years now providing MBA cases in blockchain, where MBAs are challenged with a particular problem in blockchain. They all work on trying to solve it and present it back to us, and we grade them and give them back some feedback on how they've solved this problem. And we hire out of that MBA school as well, and so we're really happy to have our partnerships within our local community. On the governance side, we are a public company with an independent board. We have many policies and procedures around anti-money laundering, terrorism, financing, and so on and so forth. And obviously, as we work with lots of law firms and accounting firms, we advise on a lot of the internal controls and procedures around governance for crypto companies. And that brings me to the end of our presentation. Just again to summarize, DMG is a vertically integrated cryptocurrency company. Our core business is crypto mining, as I've explained through our main site in Christine Lake in British Columbia. And our Core Plus business, or our software business, is focused on compliance and safety and regulatory issues. And we do all of our software under the Blockseer brand name. And we are very excited about the new products that we've invested in, and we're looking forward to getting them to the market as soon as possible. So that brings me to the end. Here's some contact information. If there are any questions, I believe I can look in the Q&A section. And I've got a question in here. And the question is about some of the catalysts for the rest of 2021 moving into 2022. So a good question. So some of the things that are really going to catalyze DMG. One is I've announced that we will be adding more megawatts in sites outside of Christina Lake. We will end up, following our plans, making announcements this year, and hopefully as soon as possible, about some of the sites that we plan on taking and building out into large sites. I think that this will be well received by the market and by people in general in the crypto industry that are looking for hosting. DMG is unique over a lot of other Bitcoin miners. Most Bitcoin miners do not host. Usually you have one or the other. You're a Bitcoin miner or you're a hoster. DMG, we've always had a mixture of hosting and mining. And so we already have procedures and processes for customer service and ensuring that we not only Bitcoin quite well for ourselves in a professional manner, but we do it for our clients as well. So I think that's a big upcoming part to our future business. And I would also say on the software side, we're making a lot of investment on the software side for DMG. And, we're going to start now seeing more revenue coming out of software than during crypto winter. A lot of companies are deciding to purchase software over trying to build it, as Bitcoin mining is getting larger in scale, much more complex. Good software that works well it is really valuable, and the ability to create software that could scale out to, in the old days, it would be 1,000 miners or 2,000 miners. Now people have 10,000 miners, 50,000 miners. If you look at Marathon, they've advertised that they're going to have 133,000 miners. Scale like that is huge, and software, to build that kind of software takes years. We've been building software for 4 years around Bitcoin mining operations, and so our pool software, our mine management software, our Petra software, all these software products we have great experience in, and we're starting to see an uptake in people buying licenses and using our software. What is our major focus for executing software? I think our major focus will be completing our next pool with Argo, and on top of that, it will be getting out our exchange and wallets, so that people can start using our login to not only mine Bitcoin in the pool, not only to look at their own operations and manage it through Blockseer, but they can also trade crypto, use our wallets, and investigate transactions. So if they're not too sure if they want to work with a certain counterparty, they can use our Walletscore product or our Blockseer product to trace transactions around. So we'll have a very unique platform where You don't have to be a Bitcoin miner. You could be a day trader of crypto, and you could log in and you could have your wallets there. You could have all your trades there through our partnership with Bosonic for a crypto exchange. But if you are a miner, you could have all of your mining operations there. You could have all your pool operations there, all of your wallets, all your KYC and AML software that you need to do transactions, all of this stuff you can have in one place. Which is unique. Nobody has this in one place. Normally, if you wanted to transact, you would have to, buy the coins from an exchange, put them into your wallet, or keep them in the coins wallet, and try moving them all around that way. If you're a miner, you would have a mining operation software you use, and you would have an exchange software you use somewhere else, maybe a wallet software somewhere else. We're bringing this all together into one platform for miners and or anybody that wants to get involved in crypto can do this all in the same place. I don't see any more questions, and I think I've gone through all my time. Unless another question comes up. Let me see. Well, with no more questions, I guess I'll close out and just saying that, DMG, we're a company that's been around since 2006 as a private company, 2018. Many people may not know this, but before starting DMG, I was in another crypto mining company that's quite large and successful. It's still a private company. I learned a lot in that company that I brought to DMG, but beyond that, I've brought a lot into DMG from my past in accountancy and in forensics, which is why we've built the Blockseer brand out of DMG as well. And, our goal is not to just be a Bitcoin miner and create Bitcoin. Our goal is to bring Bitcoin to the masses through our software solutions. And we're really focused in on this. And I think this is one of the reasons that makes DMG a really interesting company to get involved in. You're getting involved not only in Bitcoin mining, but you're getting involved in bringing Bitcoin to everyone, which we think is a great thing for society, and we think is a great thing for financial institutions. I'll just check if there's any more questions. If not, thank you guys so much for listening.
Ladies and gentlemen, that will conclude the DMG blockchain presentation. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect.